Now, our coding program have 4 different legs. The first one, and it's all stretched over a year curriculum, but it can expand. It can expand until 3 years, 4 years, depends on your own creativity. Because the moment that you know how the program works, you can take this box and just expand on it. So we give you the basic instructions on how to use it at least for a year, but it can be used for the full foundation phase of 4 years, depending on how you can elaborate on everything. So in our coding we have 4 legs. The first one, first term, will be brainy bricks. And that is where you'll have 3 of these books. There's a brainy bricks 1 and 2 is right in the first book. Brainy bricks 3 and 4 in the second book, and then you'll have the resources book. Now what brainy bricks means is, in the first term, that's where we teach you, the children, how to sit down, be calm and have fun, where we enable them to have open brains, if I can call it like that, where information can come through easily. So that is basically where we sit down and read a story, then we ask some questions, to expand the vocabulary and to see what they know. That's also a very nice place, especially when you do the family, to see if there are any problems at home. That's part of the therapy sessions as well. You can use it as a play therapy session. Or if you know that in your classroom there's some boys that are bullying other boys, you can take a story, you can read it and present the story of somebody else for teaching the children how to behave. So my brainy bricks is very versatile in that situation. You can use it, but read the story, ask some questions, and in your resource book you will find there are sequences that you can tell back, because it's the first part of your sequencing of your coding. You have to tell the story back in a minimum of 5 sentences, and then you build the story. So if, for example, we talk about the airport, then we will ask them some questions about the airport. Have they been there and all the different places to visit at the airport? What's the function of the air traffic control and all these places? And security and what happens when they get lost. So that's where you bring the life skills in. And then you will build the airport. You will have a field like the ones that you have in front of you. And you will give them a box of Lego or whatever building blocks that you have close to you. And you will build the airport. And that's another place where you will find, if they build an airplane this small, but the air traffic control is this big, that's a place where you can tell them about the different dimensions, especially if you have a group of 4 children together, they need to be able to have the same dimensions wherever they build. So that's just another place where they learn a little bit more about life skills. Alright, now I am going to start reading a story and you're going to build the story, but I'm not going to read the full story. Because when you do a story in the classroom, make sure there are pictures, because I really love the pictures. Now in your book, the pictures will be black and white. You can color them as you wish, because you know how the children in front of you will look like, or you can even ask them to color them as part of the lesson. But in the end, my pictures are already printed. And in the resources book, at the end of the lesson, if you perhaps do not have Lego or something to build, you can print these pages and they may color it. So they do not have to build, but to build it 3-dimensionally is just part of the coding, because coding for us is just the first step in the sequence up to the place where you can build a robot. And this is where we are going to, if they can build a robot like this. So if you can start with a small Lego block and an airplane or whatever you build, you need to keep in mind that eventually, in 4 or 5 years' time, they should be able to build these things. So it is important for me to do a three-dimensional build as well, if possible. But if you don't have that, at least you can finish the lesson by coloring in. Right. Ooh, I think I missed a page. My story is about Feast on Saturn. The days of Saturn were short but slow. One day after breakfast, King Xylem didn't know what to do or where to go. So Xylem the king counted Saturn's rings. Then he counted his toes and said, "There's 17, I suppose." After a while the king moaned and groaned. Then he started shouting and roaring, "It's boring here, it's very boring." King Xylem called for his advisor, who was older and wiser. He gazed at him and said, "There's nothing to be done. I need to have some fun." And before he finished talking, a strong flashing light blinded their sight. Then with a cling and a clang and a terrible bang, the king said, "What a shattering shake! Is Saturn at stake?" Picture. And was that a quake? Did Saturn's rings break? No, answered his loyal advisor, who was older and wiser. It seems to be a huge spaceship, arriving from Earth after a long trip. They were interrupted by the guards that came in and said, "We found this creature in Saturn's space. He has 2 eyes and a nose on his face. A creature with legs, hands and a head. How funny and how strange," King Xylem said. Goed. Buiten dat creature.
Okay.